Demon Slayer is one of the most popular shows to come out. The show is praised for its incredible fight scenes and characters, but does it deserve the attention? The simple answer is no. The long answer will take an entire video to explain. Demon Slayer is, for the most part, average at best and terrible at worst.
I can't believe you said that!
This is due to the story's numerous blunders and poorly written moments. Most anime fans forgive or don't even notice these mistakes due to hype moments covering up the show's major flaws. This video will look at these flaws and explain why Demon Slayer's writing falls short. Watching Demon Slayer, you may come to think the main idea is around family. We see this in characters such as Rui, Tanjiro, and Michael Jackson. With Tanjiro, we don't see much of him interacting with his family. After the first episode, Tanjiro has only one living family member, and we don't know much about his relationship with his sister. All we really get in terms of the first season is a sad moment when Tanjiro comes back from training, which doesn't mean much since we don't know anything about Tanjiro and Nezuko at this point in the story. Their relationship is mostly Tanjiro thinking Nezuko's cute, and Nezuko believing in her brother. This is not much when their relationship is the show's driving force, and we don't identify with it. As for his fallen family members, much of the interactions take place in his head. Siblings fight, argue, play, and do a bunch of other things. But Tanjiro's family just feels fake. This issue stems from his family dying before we could even know them, as well as Nezuko being rather plain. Consider a show like Fullmetal Alchemist or A Spy Family. The concept of family is handled better in both shows. We see how the characters interact with one another and fix their problems. The Elric brothers argue about their position and later reconcile. They try to understand each other and repair the relationship's flaws. And in Spy Family, we see how a fake family gradually becomes real. In both stories, tension is present in the relationships that makes the audience care. Whereas in Demon Slayer, we're not given much. The Red Light District arc embodies the strange strategy of writing relationships. Nezuko gains enough power to fight an upper six demon. She goes berserk and almost attacks random civilians in the process. Tanjiro is struggling to calm his sister and is at a loss for what to do until Tengen offers some advice. He tells Tanjiro to start singing. This works, but why can't Tanjiro, the family man, calm his sister, but the man who voted for his sister to be taken care of can? I assume Tanjiro had close ties to his family and would know how to comfort his sister, but he doesn't, and his choice in writing makes no sense. If Tanjiro had sung the song while carrying his sister to keep her calm at the story's start, it would have been a sweet moment and a nod to the show's beginning. Instead, we got convenience. All these questions make the moment fall flat and make Tanjiro a clueless character. Better yet, Nezuko doesn't talk. Like, at all. I've seen some people use this as a defense for why her character is so plain, but this isn't a good excuse. A bunch of characters have been silent while having personality. Just look at Tom and Jerry, Wall-E, or that carpet from Aladdin. Nezuko doesn't have much to offer other than being cute. She has no urgency, and she's brainwashed into not attacking people as a demon. We know she refuses to attack one of the Hashira when they tempt her, but we also know that she almost attacks some random civilians when she loses control. So, is Nezuko a danger to people? Well, probably. Just ask Tengen when he confronts Tanjiro about the attack. It's played off as a funny moment when you should acknowledge that Nezuko is dangerous. Tengen doesn't even say anything after the battle. I'm not saying he has to kill Nezuko, but he should at least acknowledge what happened, considering how serious it was, and this being a major plot point. At this point, it's hard to see Nezuko as a person. Just look at the facts. She has to be trained not to attack people. She has a muzzle, and is kept in a cage. Demon Slayer doesn't treat Nezuko as a person, but as a pet. This problem only furthers the point that Demon Slayer's theme rings hollow. The biggest problem with Demon Slayer is the lack of thought into big plot points. This comes from poor setup. For example, the demon siblings and Rengoku. In Demon Slayer's movie, we see our main characters put in a dream they hoped was reality. Tanjiro had his family, Zenitsu had Nezuko, and Inosuke does something. The problem with this scene is that Rengoku's part is not a dream. Rengoku is supposed to dream what he wishes was real, but his dream is just his backstory. Watching this for the first time, I thought Rengoku was evil in the past, and changed to become a better person by being different from his father. But no, we see Tanjiro meet Rengoku's family. It's the situation shown by the dream. All this means is that the trained guy's powers make no sense, and Rengoku's characterization is a complete mess. We don't know if he's a good or bad person. The part that makes Rengoku's situation even more awkward is that Rengoku fights one of the upper moons. He tells the demon that their morals are different. Still, considering the dream sequence is supposed to be what they wished happened, we don't have a firm idea of Rengoku's morals. Especially since he was one of the Hashira who wanted to kill Nezuko, makes the conflict feel very awkward. One of the things that Demon Slayer is praised for the most is the amazing fights that the story appears to have. Don't get me wrong, Demon Slayer looks good, but some of the major fights are not thought out. Look at Tanjiro's fight with Rui, for example. Rui uses his family for only his benefit. He believes that family should be used to serve him, and that bonds with his family should be made of fear instead of love. We see this in how Rui treats his family. He openly mocks and beats them. Rui thinks this is where his power comes from until he meets Tanjiro, the so-called family man. Rui sees how much Nezuko cares about Tanjiro and thinks Nezuko would make a great member of his family. Tanjiro doesn't like this as he sees family as being about loving bonds and whatnot. So now we got it. We got the great moral battle of family. What should the bonds be made of? Fear or love? And guess what happens? Tanjiro loses. I kid you not. The person that is supposed to be about family loses a fight to a guy that uses his family. Like, what is the message the show's trying to get across? Is the show trying to parody itself in some twisted way? It ruins a great moment that would serve the story's theme, but it's afraid to pull the trigger. By far, the worst moment of Demon Slayer includes the demon's siblings. Let me paint a picture for you. So, we got the two main villains of the entertainment arc, Gyutaro and Daki. Daki is and Gyutaro kinda pimps out his sister. It's a strange relationship, but let's see how Demon Slayer deals with this tricky subject. Gyutaro uses Daki, and they become demons. When Tanjiro and the gang take care of all the bad guys, we see Gyutaro and Daki yelling at each other over the whole situation. They start blaming each other, and Tanjiro tells them to stop because they're family. I think we need to take a moment to pause. First, Tanjiro doesn't even know these people. He just found out Gyutaro exists and is lecturing them on family. Gyutaro is a bad guy and should be blamed for what happened to Daki. Funny enough, Gyutaro even admits this. He thinks things would have been much better if he hadn't been around. Daki would have had a happy life and even had a husband. So you got that right. Tanjiro is awkwardly getting into their argument when he doesn't even know anything about their relationship, just because they're siblings. This makes family man Tanjiro come off as tone deaf. And don't worry, things get worse. We see the demon siblings in some purgatory place, where they have to make a choice. Gyutaro seems to be locked on the path to hell, but Daki presumably can choose where she goes. So, you know what happens. Daki, the manipulated sister, follows her brother to the fiery abyss, because they're related. This is not a good message. This tells the audience that no matter the circumstances, you should follow your sibling, even if they're doing something bad. Gyutaro could have easily gone to the fiery abyss by himself, and used that as an opportunity to give his sister the life she deserved. But no. Demon Slayer needs to learn from Naruto, which touches on similar ideas. In the Land of Waves arc, we see Zabuza and Haku. Zabuza, the demon of the mist, is supposed to be some cold, heartless guy, but deep down, he's a person like anyone else. We learn about the pair when we meet Haku in the forest with Naruto. Naruto learns how much Haku cares about his partner, who we later discover to be Zabuza. This gives Naruto some insight into their relationship, so when he gives his big speech later, it doesn't feel like it's coming from left field. Zoom in through events, Haku dies, and Zabuza shows he cares about him. Do you know what Zabuza says while on the brink of death? He knows he's going to the fiery abyss for what he's done, but Haku is going to a better place. This is great writing. Unlike in Demon Slayer, the characters act strange, hurting the larger narrative. Gyutaro and Daki's relationship destroys the message of Demon Slayer, making Tanjiro seem thoughtless. To sum it up, I think Demon Slayer is more often a clumsy show that manages to patch all the elements together to make an entertaining show, if you don't pay attention. I don't hate Demon Slayer. It does have some fantastic art. One of the best moments is when the show slows down and pays attention to the characters. When Gyutaro taunts Tanjiro in the climax of the district arc, we feel how helpless the situation feels for Tanjiro. He's desperate and has almost no way of winning. You can almost feel how bad the situation is for our hero. Another underrated part in Demon Slayer is episode 24 and 25. We get to see Tanjiro and the gang recovering from their previous battle. These episodes let the audience understand the trio. but we don't get a chance to see Nezuko. To end the video, Demon Slayer tends to put style over substance, but that's what you get when flashing lights are more important than how the show is written.